Over 250 years ago, our founding fathers set forth on this continent to create a new nation conceived in liberty and the dedication that all men and women are created equal. And as we move forward into the future, we find that people that we put in charge are attempting to take those freedoms away. This is Don't Tread on America. Alright guys, how's it going out there today? It is September 19th, 2021, and I am your host, Don Q. How's it going out there today, everybody? It is Sunday. Sunday. A beautiful Sunday, for that matter. It's been a great day. Got a good, I guess we did about a 3-hour workout in the gym today. Knocked out a nice little chest workout. Don't Tread on America chest day. Oh, cramping. Anyway, and cleaned the car. So now I'm here with you guys, and we're going to talk about some bullshit in the world, and I think we're going to delve a little bit more into the Sussman, Michael Sussman, the attorney that's not the attorney anymore in the Durham probe, whatever. You know, shit that's been going on for like 3 or 4 years, everyone's pretty much forgot about. At any rate, before we get into that, I want to talk about a new sponsor that we have to the show. You know, I just talked about going to the gym and working out. I've been using this product probably about, I don't know, a year, 2 years. It's an American-based company called Redcon One. And check them out. The link will be at the bottom of the page on whatever app you listen to us on the podcast and on the YouTube channel. Click on the link, go to their website. You'll get 20% off anything that you purchase on there. And they carry anything from t-shirts to protein powder. Some of my favorite products are I use the Total War, which is a pre-workout, gives you energy, and it's a sustained energy. It's not like a drinking a Red Bull or whatever. It gives you nice sustained energy through your whole workout. And they have a multitude of other things. I use Breach, which is a post-workout, gives you BCAAs, and it helps you recover from your workout. Obviously, like their protein powder, it's high in protein, low in calories, which is a good combination to have. So check them out. Like I said, click on the link at the bottom of the page, whether it be on the podcast, on the app, whatever platform you're listening to us on, that link will be there. Click on that link. Order whatever you'd like on there. You get 20% off. If they ask for, what tier operator, tell them T20 Quartimus. And like I said, you'll get 20% off. You don't even have to do any of that when you do it. As long as you click the link, it'll take you to my page, and you'll get your 20% off. Also, don't forget about checking us out on our social media platforms. I say this every time, but obviously, Facebook.com/Don't Tread on America. Instagram.com/Don't Tread on America, and Twitter.com/DTUM_1775. And please, guys, whatever app you're listening to us on, whether you're on Apple, Google, Podbean, Stitcher, whatever it is, do me a favor, share this with your friends, give us a liking, and give us a good review. I was going over some of the analytics, I guess, today. 40% of the folks that listen to us on an Apple product, whether it's the iPhone or iPad, whatever it is. So if you could please go on there, give us a review. Give me a 5-star if you think I deserve a 5-star. I would hope that you would think I do deserve a 5-star. You're listening to the show on a continuous basis, so if you could help me out with that, because the better the reviews are, the better, at least the better 5 stars that I get, the higher my ranking will go. And when people are listening to other podcasts, will show up as a suggestion. Hey, if you like this, you'll like that type thing. So if you could help me out with that, and like I said before, please share this with your friends, because that's the only way I can get this whole thing to grow bigger and better than it already is. So on to the news. Now, on the last show, we talked briefly, because the indictment had just came out of the Michael Sussman indictment. And we talked about he was a lawyer for the law firm that represented the DNC and the Hillary campaign. Of course, I guess when he was questioned as to why he was bringing information to the FBI, he had said, "Oh, he was just bringing this on his own. He had nothing to do with other anyone else. It was like he found this information and he was just gonna bring it up on his own, and like he was doing the right thing." Here's a little. This was on let me see where it's at. So the name of the show I'm going to play is off of YouTube. It's RT America, and the person that you're going to hear speaking, he's an attorney. His name's Ed Martin, and this is what he had to say about the indictment.
Well, I think we'll see. We'll get to the bottom of it. The FBI doesn't, or an independent counsel doesn't charge you with lying to the FBI for no good reason, right? There's something there. A couple details, John, that I think are important to know. The reason this indictment happened now is because the statute of limitations was going to run. It's a 5-year statute of limitations. It would have run in a few days. So I don't think this indictment by itself is a good indication of what the investigation is. It kind of comes out and you're like, oh, is that it? We got a lawyer lying? That's just like a lawyer breathing, right? So, but I think in this case, when you read the indictment, John, when you look through it, well, I happen to be one, John, so I can say that. I'm, it's like dishonor among thieves. But but when you read that indictment, and I have read the whole thing, 27 pages, it's a little bit more than what you're right. It's kind of dry, but that's because an indictment has to lay out all these facts, and so it's not so much what he's charged with, but the facts you see. And when he was at Perkins Coie and he was working with the Mark Elias and others, and he's tied into this, what I think the Durham investigation is showing in this case is there was coordination. The lie was about who are you representing? Are you coming to us as the FBI clean? Is this just a strain? The guy said, oh yeah, it's just something that somebody gave me and all that. And again, from the beginning, a lot of us have thought this was a political hit job, a political dirty tricks that utilized the government. The government played along, either witting or unwittingly. That's what this seems to show. And I think this is an opening salvo. We're going to see more after this.
And when you say coordination you're talking about between Sussman and the campaign, or at least people in connection with the Clinton campaign.
Yeah, you don't have to be on the payroll of the campaign if you're asked by the FBI, who are you coming here with this for, right? So, well, again, he may end up being able to say, hey, I lied to you about I wasn't on the payroll of the campaign. But more importantly, I think there's other people behind this. And what they're pulling the string on is to say, hey, was this, again, it was whatever the dirty tricks of it was. You can throw dirty tricks up, and you can even have reporters at Yahoo and other places cover it because they're idiots and they're part of the left-wing cabal. But when the government gets involved, and is using the force of the government behind it. And you remember, the FBI, I think, took up, at least the allegation is, took up what Sussman was passing along as a reason to investigate. Well, now you've been able to instigate the government. And remember, in the Sussman one, there's another link. There's a guy in here who's referred to as a tech executive who made lots of money. You talk about the swamp. The swamp in America allows tech companies to make money off of the government's control of domains. That guy had a big interest in getting appointed to the Clinton administration. And so, again, this is as swampy as it gets, but it starts to show the Russia Hoax was not just a hoax by the media. It was a hoax by government officials and lawyers. And again, Sussman is an agent. He's a member of the court and the bar. He's got a higher threshold there that you can pull the string on. So there's a lot of things that I think are still coming.
Well, we'll see. Stay tuned, as we like to say so often in this business. Ed Martin, appreciate it. Thanks for your insight.
Good answer. Good answer. Like the way you think.
Okay, so you heard him reference Tech Executive 1. So in the indictment, it has a lot of stuff. It's crazy, man. Oh, hold on a second. I knew that was going to happen. So in the indictment, it has... why won't this move? It has stuff. Come on. God bless. All right. So let me pull up the indictment here real quick. So I'm not going to read it word for word, line for line, because, it's lawyer talk. So it's very lawyery. if that's a word. I don't know. At any rate, okay. So the FBI had initiated an investigation of these allegations in response to meeting with Michael Sussman, the defendant, heroin, a lawyer at a major international law firm, Law Firm One. Well, we know what the law firm was because he said it. Cohen, whatever it was, I can't recall. So, okay, so let me keep on going. Request was held by the FBI General Counsel. All right, where are we at here? Blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. All right. I'm sorry, guys. It's hard when I'm the self-operator. Okay, so the article reported that the FBI had spent weeks examining computer data showing an odd stream of activity to the Trump Organization server and computer jogs obtained by Newspaper One. What kills me, before I continue to read this, what kills me about this is when they say Law Firm One and Russian, Newspaper One and Tech Executive One. They fail to name said law firm, said newspaper. But we're not idiots. You can connect the dots, right? So we know Law Firm One is the law firm that Sussman worked for. We know that Newspaper One, or we can assume that Newspaper One is either the New York Times or the Washington Post, because usually it was one of those two that was involved in all this. We know Russian Bank was the Alpha Bank, I believe was the name of it. Alpha Bank, which is a Kremlin-linked Russian financial institute. As you continue to read, it goes on to say, that Sussman lied, Tech Executive One, U.S. Internet Company One, and then the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign. So, first of all, I'd like to say I am sorry to hear about the death of Michael Sussman. And I know I'm being facetious. Obviously, he's not dead yet. But from what I heard the other day, there's a very good chance that he is going to turn state's evidence. Okay, we all know that, you can Google this, you can look it up on Wikipedia, that the Clintons have what they call the Clinton body count. Okay? And it lists a name of, I can't recall the last time I looked at it. There's a few individuals, and some of those names will be familiar to you. But I have a feeling that Wikipedia is going to have to update that and put another name on there, because there's a very good chance that if it comes out that Michael Sussman is going to turn state's evidence, I can guarantee you he commits suicide, right? Hell, I could commit suicide here before too long, but I just want to point out the fact that I won't go so quietly into that great good night. At any rate, the question I had is this. Okay, so I was listening to Bongino's show. I think it was his Thursday or Friday show. I can't recall. It might have been his Friday show. And he delved into this as far as Tech Executive One and Internet Company One, and he alluded to the fact that he knows, so he can assume, all of us can assume, I guarantee if you Googled on the internet, because I've already done this, so I can guarantee that if you go on the internet and look it up. Now, granted, I don't use Google. I use DuckDuckGo, so the information could be a little bit different. I don't know what Google's blocking or not blocking right now. But I can tell you this, that what I did find out is there's two different internet, or not internet, but what the hell was it called? The internet tech, whatever, person that was being, was just Internet Tech One and Internet Company One, right? So the names that popped up for me were Are you kidding me? I didn't write the one dude's name down. Of course I didn't, right? Anyway, one of the names was Eric Schmidt, or is Eric Schmidt. Now, it's interesting to hear that name for the fact that he was the vice president of Google. Okay, so then one could assume that if it was Eric Schmidt, or if it is Eric Schmidt, or whatever, that obviously it makes sense that Google would be the internet company, right? Another name, and the only reason I'm talking about this today is I'm going to be quite honest with you. Bongino said on his podcast, and to his credit, granted, he's been doing this a hell of a lot longer than I have, and obviously a hell of a lot more people know him than know me. Okay, so he says on his show the other day, he says that he has a feeling that he knows who the internet person and internet companies are. Whether he knows, obviously he has more connections than I do, being his previous jobs and being in the media and whatnot. Surely he has more connections that he can say, oh, talk to whomever, and they can say, oh, we know it's this person or that person and this company or that company. So his motto is, if you ever listen to him, is it's better to be right than first. He does the 72-hour rule, is what he calls it. Okay. He has the luxury of being one of the most popular podcasts on, whatever, on the, he's got his own radio show on top of that. Plus he has a show on Fox on Saturdays. So in the, in the guides of, I'd like to be right, but I also want to be first. I'm going to throw both these names out and both their companies out. And if I'm totally wrong, then when I do my next show on Wednesday, I'll tell you, well, guys, I dropped, because surely that's going to come out Monday or Tuesday. I'll tell you I dropped the ball, shit the bed. I shouldn't have said what I said, but I'm going to say it just in the gauges of possibly being right. Okay, so if you talk to most people about this, if you talk to most people that kind of know a little bit about what's going on, and they've heard that the Sussman guy was indicted and so on and so forth, right? And you ask them, okay, who do you think the internet tech person 1 is and internet company person 2, internet company person is? Most people would probably guess, oh, it's got to be Zuckerberg. Oh, it's got to be Jack Dorsey. Oh, it's got to be something along those lines, because those are the names that everyone knows, right? Eric Schmidt, he was the vice president of Google. He's not the president. He's not the CEO. He's not the owner. So I could kind of see him being involved in the sense that, what is he doing? He's the vice whatever. He is second or third or whatever in command at Google. So, and we all know how Google is very left-leaning, from its algorithms and searches and whatnot. When you look up stuff, it's not very favorable to what Trump may or may not do. And this isn't even about Trump. It's about right or wrong, right or left. Okay, so what Hillary and her campaign did was obviously wrong, right? And whether they put this Sussman up to it, it was a combination of characters. You had Sussman, you had Carter Page, you had the Steele dossier, and obviously the FBI was involved somehow or another, because it's not like he got arrested, that he went to the FBI 5 years or 5 years ago, whatever it was, prior to Trump even being elected. So yeah, so 5 years ago, and now this is just coming out. What happened to the Mueller report? Why wasn't his name brought up during the Mueller report? Why wasn't this isn't like this dude just showed up. He's been involved pretty much since day one. Another name is Rodney Jaffe. Okay, now this is from, this is something I found, and this is off of the Meaning in History Substack. And the writer's name is Mark, forgive me if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but it looks like Walk. W-A-U-C-K, so Walk. So his theory is obviously Russian banks, Alpha Bank, law firm 1 is Perkins Coie. But his guess is that tech executive 1 is Rodney Jaffe, and internet company 1 is Newstar, which I had never heard of Newstar, so I did some looking up, and they're kind of, back then they were a relatively big company. They were more of an analytic and security firmware type situations. They've since been bought out by bigger companies, so you won't hear much about them as a company. But in the indictment, it goes on to say, like I said, it doesn't say stuff. It says investigation firm, and okay, then it goes on to say campaign lawyer. It goes on to say, like I said, the tech executive and those acronyms, whatever. So he alleges that the campaign lawyer was Mark Elias, and that the investigative firm is Fusion GPS, which is part of the Steele dossier. So, point being is, what's interesting, or what I feel is interesting about this guy being indicted. I'll be honest, when this first came out on Thursday, I was kind of like, okay, finally we have an indictment, big deal. What's going to come of it? It's been, 3 years or whatever since, maybe, 3 or 4 years since the Durham, started his investigation. And this is only the second indictment we've had. So either there was a big nothing burger there, or this is just the tip of the iceberg. And by that I mean, if this is the person that links everything together, will he start to name names? Because I believe, never having personally heard this dude's name before in my entire life until the other day, the other things are familiar. Those names are familiar to me. But it all makes sense. Whether it was Newstar and Jaffe or Eric Schmidt and Google, I tend to feel it could be more the Schmidt Google connection than the Jaffe Newstar connection. But either one of those could be, just for the fact that Newstar wasn't as big as Google, obviously, and this guy was going to be given a job with the Hillary, assuming she was going to win president, with the Hillary, administration as some sort of tech, whatever, I don't know what the fuck, but nonetheless, to me, I would think being an executive at a tech firm, internet company, whether it be Google or Newstar, I'm making more money doing that than I would be working in anyone's administration. But as we have become well aware, even though your salary for being whatever in the government, whether it's a president or Dr. Fauci, which happens to be the highest paid government official in all of the government, and even that isn't like he's making millions of dollars. It's just, I don't know what his pay is offhand. I want to say it was like 300,000 or 400,000, which is nothing to sneeze at, obviously. But point being is, these politicians and people that go in to work for the government, whether it be as a senator, congressman, whatever, for the most part, they don't go in it for the money as far as the paycheck. It's more about the added benefits of the job, the added paychecks of the job, whether it be post, your term, getting a job on, Fox or MSNBC or whatever the case may be, or doing speaking engagements or writing books or whatever the case is. These guys make a shit ton more money after the fact than they do during. The ones that have been lifelong politicians and are millionaires, such as, your president, dipshit McGee, he's been in politics for 47 years, 48 years. And at an average salary of $200,000 a year, unless you don't spend any money, you don't become a millionaire. I'm sorry. There's other ways he's gotten rich, whether it be legitimate or not legitimate, whether it's his son cutting deals for China or Ukraine or whatever the case may be. I guess hopefully one day that'll all come to pass. We'll have to see. But the biggest reason I wanted to say what I had to say was, if I'm right, if it is either Schmidt and Google or Jaffe and Newstar, I just want to let you guys know, because hopefully the people will listen to the show either today, tonight, tomorrow morning when they're heading to work or at work or whatever the case may be, and you hear me say these names, that you'll be like, oh shit, I heard that on D-Tom. Holy crap. And then if I'm right, pray to God that I'm right. I pray to God that I'm right. And you guys will be like, holy shit, you guys got to listen to this show. And that's when I can get more sponsors. Like my next sponsor, smoothmyballs.com, right? Our original sponsor to the show. So check them out at smoothmyballs.com/DTOM. And don't forget, you get 20% off there also by using that code. Check out their razors, their clippers, their men's products that they have online. Check them out. And, buy something. Small company. A lot of these companies are newer companies, and they come and they sponsor podcasts mainly because whether I got 1 million listeners or 100 listeners, that's 100 more customers possibly that they can pick up, right? So do me a favor, check them out. And don't forget makersmark.com, because, we are a brand ambassador. And, just help me out. And let's see. So, that was really the bulk of the show I wanted to get into was with this. And the fact that, this Russian hoax crap started, 5 years ago, right? And obviously, it's not over yet. So one other thing I wanted to get into, we touched on this also on the last show on Friday. So we've heard about the migrants down at the border, especially down in Del Rio. I think there was upwards of 14,000 immigrants trying to cross into the border, and they were all stuck under this bridge in Del Rio, right by the Rio Grande. So the FAA came out and told Fox, because Fox was doing drone footage. So they put a air restriction, whatever, over that area where you weren't going to be able to fly drones or anything for that matter overhead. So initially, my question was, why? Why does it matter? It's not like they're doing anything other than making the Biden administration and Kamala Harris, our borders look like fucking idiots, because no one's dealing with this. The governor of Texas, the Border Patrol, they're the ones having to deal with this. The government, our federal government, isn't doing a damn thing. It's like they're pretending it's not happening. Fucking, you had Kamala at a damn football game flipping a coin 25 yards down the fucking field, totally oblivious to the fact of what in the hell's going on down in Mexico. The interesting thing is you have a lot of these, not a lot, but a chunk of these people that were coming across or trying to come across are Haitians. Because, was a month ago, I think they just had a bad earthquake there. They had a hurricane. They're in peril. And it's hard to believe that it's easier to get from Haiti to Mexico to come up through the border than it is to float up. But, whatever. Point being is, the FAA tried to restrict the airspace overhead so you couldn't take the pictures. So initially, my question was, why? Why are they not wanting Fox or any other news agency to not show? Not that anyone else was really doing this, but why would they not want people to see this? Well, some of the footage showed these people. Like I said, they're staying under the bridge. If you look at it now, if you go on Fox, they had, these people are basically making a little city underneath the span of this bridge, building tents. And not building tents like if we're going camping, we'd build a tent, but they're like chopping trees down and whatever, wherever they're getting the wood from. And they're making makeshift huts and whatnot. It's quite interesting. But the supplies are so scarce in that part of Texas, they're actually crossing back over the river into Mexico to get supplies, whether it be water, food, whatever the case may be. So my question is, why in the hell are you even here? if you can obviously go back to Mexico, and I would assume that of these 14,000, however many people, that I'm going to throw a number out there, maybe half of them are from Mexico. It's probably not even that high. It's probably a lot less, because obviously I think 4,000 of them are Haitian last they reported. So let's say of the 10,000 that's left, I would probably guess the other, I think I've heard there's people from all over the world, because they know the southern border is an open door. Okay, so in the meantime, we pissed off everyone in Afghanistan and wherever else we're pissing people off at. We're not vetting any of these people. We're just letting them roll right in. In the meantime, you and I are being demonized for not getting vaccinated. We're being allegedly mandated to get vaxxed. Like I told you guys when he first did this 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, to not stress it. It's all words right now. And he knows he has no legitimate fight. But the point being is, he's going to say these words about you and I. Oh, you've got to get vaxxed. We've got to do this. This is what we have to do, blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, we can let all these immigrants flow up through the southern border. Whatever country they're from, I really don't care. Don't worry about COVID testing them. Don't worry about, vaccinating them for that matter. Don't worry about it. Just come on in. In the meantime, I'm getting criticized because I don't want to get vaccinated. Okay? And it's just not, if you guys can't see the hypocrisy of what's going on, I would assume everyone listening and watching to me right now, listening to me and watching me right now we're on the same page. And whether you've been vaxxed or not, because that was your choice, so be it. It's your choice to get vaxxed just as much as it's my choice to not get vaxxed. Okay? I've had COVID. I just had it a month ago. Okay? I got over it. I was fine. I did took my vitamins, said my prayers. I did work outside. I worked hard. I try to stay healthy. I'm drinking a beer right now. Oh, but I do. I go to the gym 3-4 times a week. Like I told you in the last show, I'm on my feet. I'm constantly moving. Bam, bam, bam. The key is, in my opinion, to beating this is being healthy. Like I said before, a year and 9 months ago, when all this shit first started, one of the biggest things they told you, one of the biggest groups of people that was at risk for COVID was the obese, right? So you had people with what they called pre-existing health conditions. These people are at risk, right? So you had your cancer people, you had your heart people, you had your lung people, and your obese. I think that's roughly the top 4 groupings. So obviously I have cancer. Heart's fine, lungs fine. Like I said, I'm the healthiest sick person you know. So I made it a goal to make sure I continued to go to the gym. And when they closed the gyms here for, a month or so, I continued to work out, push-ups, made makeshift weights with cinder blocks and pipes, and went for walks and jogged and did everything I possibly could do to try and stay as healthy as possible. And went all the way to August of this year with no bubbles, no troubles, and then I got it. But like I said, even when I did get it, I didn't realize I had it until I realized I couldn't smell or taste. I wasn't sick. I wasn't on my deathbed. I wasn't crying. And then, in spite of that, when I realized I had it, I got tested, whatever. I made sure to not let myself get down and not move around and lay around and, oh, woe's me, I got COVID. I beat it. My wife got a little more sick than I did, but even when her sickness was more of a cold, sneezing, coughing, I don't think she ever really had a fever. She did, she wasn't short of breath. She wasn't whatever. It was just basically a cold, because we try to stay active. So my advice to you, take it for what it's worth. Take your vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc. Talk to a doctor. Number 1, talk to a doctor. Okay? If your doctor is someone that you trust and you believe that what he or she is telling you is the God's honest truth, and they tell you that you should get the vaccine because of whatever reason, then that's your choice. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that because this will be my 5th show on YouTube, and I don't really feel like getting kicked off yet because I still haven't figured out Rumble. So, anyway, point being is, with the FAA, so my thing was this. Why were they wanting to shut down the drones? Okay, so initially I was like, well, maybe it's because that's the only way you can really report on the people, and you can only see the amount of people from above. So my thought process was, well, they'll strike down the ability to be able to do that. Why? So the numbers could double, triple, quadruple? No, I think it's the opposite. So the numbers will half and quarter and so on and so forth. That way they can bust them out and get them to an airfield and fly them to wherever in the country. That was my theory. But lo and behold, to Fox's credit, they fought it in court, and the judge said, no, what they're doing is perfectly legal, and you can't just automatically restrict airspace like that. So therefore, we'll still have the aerial coverage if you go to Fox, because no one else is talking about it. You go to ABC, NBC, blah, blah, blah. I'm even surprised that these channels are talking about the Sussman indictment. But I think they're still thinking something's going to come out about Trump. So I guess we'll see. I just remember that if I'm right about the names and the internet companies I said, I know I gave you 2 names, but it's not like I gave you 50 names and said, oh, it could be this person in this internet company or that person in this. I gave you 2 names. I gave you 2 internet companies. Hopefully I'm right about one of them. And if I am, and you can say you heard it here first. And if I'm wrong, tell them that Chris told you that. All right, guys. On that note, I am going to put a lid on today. And for that, I'm going to give you a big fat...
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
All right, guys. Please don't forget about our sponsors. The links will be at the bottom of the page. Don't forget at smoothmyballs.com/dtom and makersmark.com, and our new sponsor, redcon1.com. The links will be at the bottom of the page on any app you're listening to and on our YouTube page. Check them out. And don't forget our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Don't Tread on America, and Twitter, dtom_1775. And on that, guys, I'm going to give you a big fat, have a great day, big fat sugar water, and I will see you guys on, or I won't see you. You'll see me. I won't see you. But you'll hear me. And for that, I'm appreciative. And I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. Have a great day, a great Sunday, and stay safe out there. See y'all later.